Hello everyone. This issue features 3 experiments in Jiangji Chao. The first is infrared ground detection. This module is like the robot's eyes. When I held his finger in front of him, we could see the interpotential device displaying an obstacle detected. Lu Jin's sales team. When I removed his finger, it showed the obstacle to smoothly remove Lu Jin. Next, we will look at how to achieve this. First, let's introduce the infrared comparison module. There are 2 core human realms here. One is infrared transmission range. This is the color of the panel. The other is wide infrared reception. That is this black one. Its principle is very simple. The transmitter continuously emits infrared rays. If there is a piece of love in front, the light will be radiated back. If you have a wide reception, you can receive it. If the front is empty, the light fades away. The blue Tianwei device on this can be used to adjust the detection distance. As clockwise distances increase, your clockwise distance gets closer. According to Wenden's explanation, we know this module is triggered by a low-voltage beam system. In other words, when the DET was detected, he returned the low electricity beam to the low-level power bank. When there was no DET, he visited Gaudium beam. Now that the principle is clear, let's start wiring. The wiring only uses 3-point wires. BCC grounding element. Evenly grounded and grounded. X 音号 camped and taught them P14. Now we have finished wiring. Let's open the Asian agricultural yelling industry and take a look at the egg horse. Take the main atmosphere of the 3 parts in the first film's fixed scene. Let's move on to the 13 saddle corner at the start of the horse. The second part is about the manifestation in these 2 trees. We set the 14 angle to input mode. At the same time, we enable window communication. Send the data to the computer to read. In the third part, in the main signal logic, we take the shadow angle level state separately. If no, it returns a low level. We will receive alerts and detect obstacles in the inbound array. If the reading is high, we will also show the prompt and the gift is removed. Enter the bed smoothly. The code is written now. Click bed. Now, we need to open the rocket launcher to check the results. I remember Portrait choosing to take me and be spiritually alive. When I bring my finger in, we can see the rocket launcher display alert. Detected obstacles entering several families. When I removed Zai, the prompt indicating obstacle removal was Lu Jinshun. Next, let's move on to the second video. The second laboratory is the Ultra Deep Wave Bureau. Look, this module is like the knife track radar for 7 vehicles. When I bring purple close to it, the creative teas will be implemented to show specific numerical distances. Separation. Compared to the previous horizontal criticism, it can withdraw from a specific distance. The shock was even greater. Next, we will use UUESB to implement this function. First, let's introduce the hardware composition principle of this experiment. First, let's introduce the Super Spring Wave Side Army module. There are 2 caps here to support the body. One is the Super Spring Wave transmitter. The other is the receiver. Its principle is that the transmitter emits super spring waves, encounters strategic material defense, and fire back. The receiver was affected. Its principle is that the transmitter emits super spring waves, encounters strategic material defense, and fire back. The receiver was affected. SP52 only needs to send this stack of audio and how long it takes to return. If you become a vegetarian for a lifetime, you can go up the gap. The principle is clear. Now let's start the knot. Ultra Pure has full shadow angles. VCC triggers revival military territory. For VCC, we connect the power supply. To get the square, we connect to 26 leads. Turn back, we connect to 25 leads. Military and local areas, we are grounded. Now that all the wiring is complete, we open the Arden area. Let's take a look. First, we define the departure order as No. 26 camp corner. The rebound is at the Arshwolf camp angle. Keep reading. We defined a very interesting camp angle. This number is 0.343. We know how sound travels through the air. 5 is about 40 meters per second. Convert it to camp angle. That is, each person walks 0.0340 meters per second. This number is the core basis for calculating distances later. Now, let's look at the dark disk tree. Here we set the trigger camp angle to output mode to send messages. Number. Set the return sound angle to input mode to receive signals. At the same time, we pull the trigger corner low to keep it in the quiet zone. Paperback appearance. And in the main book disk tree, we continuously drive this disk tree. If the distance from the rainforest is withdrawn, it is printed through the opening. How much is the target distance? If it equals the impending or error, it prompts that no obstacles detected. Finally, there was a half-second delay. This prevents data from refreshing too quickly and making it hard to read, falling down to the focus of Malaysia. This means the side drama contains numbers. This numeral mainly consists of 3 parts. The first part is sending signals. The second part receives a recollection. Part 3, calculating distance. Let's first look at the first part. Let's leave the trigger camp to Latin first, then raise it higher. Hold the 10 place for seconds before lowering again. This short 10-second high-level charging is sold at that high level. This is the launch command issued to the Superlift module. Once the module receives it, it automatically emits a superwave wave. Immediately after Demo used this implication. The function of this implication is, once a high level is detected, the timing begins until the high level ends. This time the time is often called the superwave wave. Launch out. Meet in the total time of 5 times in the Defense Society. Finally, there's the math machine. The distance between work and events equals the total time. Chen Yisheng acted recklessly in the second place. Damaxi is cured. Now click to go to bed. Completed normally. Let's open up the rocket creation series. Remember to select the broadcast error rate of the Chuangguo monitor. We need Fuwai Tianfei people. Now you can see the target distance displayed on the Chuangguo monitor. When I bring my finger closer, the target distance shrinks. When I started holding my fingers, the distance to the target increased. With this, the second experiment is complete. The last experiment was, you can access the arrival assistance system. Look, when I bring my finger close, whether it is a mode of air alarm or not, it is not worth it. And recently, the wind and rain are getting faster and more alert. At the same time, the distance will be displayed in the anomalous mode. In fact, this is turning distance into sound. Let's see how to express it. First, let's introduce the organization and principles of this experiment. This experiment mainly uses 4 core components: ESP32, Ultra Deep Wave Publisher, F4Night Crystal Pinhei, 15 Yuan Fengmingqi. There is also a system that previously replaced the European Union's power group. This 2i module is the Ultra Deep Wave Reviewer. It can roll the ball to calculate body distance based on the total time sound is in the air. Separation. And this is an iPhone with an LCD 16.0 port, which is also a premium product. 16.0 means that each line displays 16 characters, totaling 2 lines. It has an iPhone C adapter strap on the back. Let's control the entire problem with just 4 lines. Finally, there are the burial vessels. It emits a low sound at different frequencies based on the distance telescope to alarm the user. We used a Weiyuan burial vessel. You can control how often it happens. After understanding each part, we will now begin wiring. Alright, we can see it. Note the period we used for the entire experiment. Package pallets, electrical units, and switching pipes. Fengmingqi ESPR, Yezhenpin. The escape wave was full of energy. In front of the machine, we need to move and drive ESP32 power supply. We are now beginning the line work. Alright, now we have finished wiring. Next, let's look at the dimer section. The beginning of the program, we introduced two cool-end pieces. No need for mere measures. FNC passes through the aircraft depot. The door area was installed. FNC Night Collection. Next, let's define the film talk. The escape wave was full of energy. There are deep reception and departure camera corners. Define the ESP 325and 26 shadow angles. The Fengming Qiu is defined as 14 shadow angles. Avoid Liang. The layer is the best seconds for the construction of the sealed fungus. The actual vaccine is over 100 doses, and this is the light avoidance, used to record the exact moment of the last sealed fungus reconciliation. Then, we proposed building an LCD object. The Lex 27 is the iPhone CD value for this screen. If yours is different, then modifications are needed. 日6-2 represents 16 columns and 2 rows. In SETTAR, the mathematical department is responsible for all presentation work. Our wounds sets input and output modes for the whole case of gas and Fengming artifacts, and display the LED screen. Next, in the main book, the transformation of mathematics and science. Our main atmosphere is not quite so. Step 1, Muir removal distance. Step 2, set up Fengming electrical isolator according to the distance. Step 3, determine the moment of injury and encounter the Fengming vessels. For example, when the distance is shi small fish from mid-shi, the electrical barrier is set to 300 milliseconds. This made the Toyoming wear extremely intense. Next, let's look below. This Han number is the Han number that can be used during the time of Toyominki. This Han number is the Korean number of the drama. See Korean drama. At this point, the logic of the entire code is fully analyzed. Now, let's take a short walk. Let's see how it works. Alright, let's start the due process now. You can see that the currently detected distance will be displayed on the night spirit display level. Then, the rear air will change the quiet frequency according to different distances. For example, which finger is currently in your super high-sized? Finding Fengming Qi makes you feel calmer. Then, we returned to LV in Alaska. Open the window monitor. You can see that when the wind Minqi is first activated, the window monitor will receive one critical news. This concludes this video. Thank you, everyone.